Namaskar and welcome to Awakening with Brahma Kumaris. Welcome, sister.
Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
Sister, as usual, I have something to read. Whether it's in the workplace or the setting of family relationships, perhaps one of the greatest challenges today is developing the ability to say no for the right reason, at the right moment, and in the right way. It's rare we have seen or met someone who puts his foot down, says no, says, I'm sorry, I just can't take on anymore. Thank you. And as they do, they are not aggressive or reactive, simply assertive. And you can sense they are standing in their self-respect. As you watch them act for their self-respect, it automatically draws respect from all who watch them. This is only possible because they have a clear sense of their own value, which in turn attracts others' value for them.
This is one of the very, very deep reasons for a lot of internal conflict today. Because very often today we're doing a lot of things which we don't want to do. We are only doing them because, like you shared with us, we're not able to say no. And internally, we just want to say no, but when it comes to saying it, we can't say the no. Between ourselves and family, we keep saying, no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to do this. I'm having to do it. But when it comes to saying it to that person, we can't say no. What could be the reason for this?
The reason is when, as a child, you are taught to be obedient. And the moment you hear the word no, see, everybody has their own dictionary and their own perspective, own ideas about words. And it's like, how can you say no to your father, to an elder person, to mother, teacher, guru? No immediately attracts as if somebody has hurt my ego.
Right.
Somebody is not in my control. Somebody is not listening to me.
True.
And everybody, how dare he says no to me?
Right.
So this is the meaning of no from my point of view.
Yes, that's very true. And which means if we say no to the other person and then they start thinking all this about us, disobedience, and they would even perceive it as disrespect.
How dare.
Disregard, yes. Which means that they would no longer approve of me. Simple. Because if I would have said yes, then I would be obedient, respectful, and you would approve of me. But if I have said no, which means to me that now you would disapprove of me.
And you no more my friend.
Right. And which means just because I want your approval and the acceptance and the appreciation, I will keep on saying yes, even when I actually want to say
No.
no. And which means I will keep on doing things which I don't want to do, only so that I continue to get the other person's acceptance and approval. And because of this, internally I'm in conflict, but externally I'm getting their approval, and I feel I cannot do without that approval, because if I don't get that approval, I will not be happy. But because internally I'm in conflict, I'm still getting the approval, but I am in conflict inside. So then am I happy? I'm doing something which I don't want to do. I've said yes, even though, let's say, I'm not well. I don't feel like doing what they're asking me to do. I don't have the capacity to do it. I don't have the resources to do it. I'm still doing it. So first and foremost, doing something which I don't I can't do right now, that itself is going to create stress for me. Because let's say I don't have that much money and I'm spending. It's going to be stress. My health doesn't allow, but I'm coming to your house if you've invited. That's tough for me. So doing something which is not in my capacity, that itself is going to create a certain amount of stress. And secondly, not wanting to do it and still doing it doesn't make me happy, because I'm doing something that I don't want to do. Now these two things are already created before I even start doing. Let's say you say, tonight you should come to my place for dinner. We have this get together. I don't want to come because my health is not fine, or I have some other commitment or whatever. Now, second, I don't feel like coming. Now, overriding these two factors, I still come to your house. But my whole day has already passed, creating so much of stress and unhappiness because I don't feel like coming.
Say, for example, a child whose best friend's birthday and his great-great-grandfather's birthday. And his mother says he has to go because of his elder at home. What will the grandfather say? After all, you should know it's a joint family, etc. This.
Right.
And his mind is there. So the whole day.
So he's already unhappy. He's already not happy about what he's going to do. And then he goes there and gets your approval. Now, after getting that approval, will the person be happy? I can't, because I've already created so much unhappiness. I've already created so much unhappiness, maybe the whole day, sometimes maybe many days before we actually do what we are asked to do. Let's say people are asked to work very late in the evening in their offices. There is some other commitment at home. There is some family responsibility. They just can't say no. Sometimes they're asked to do certain kind of things at work which their own values and principles don't allow. Can't say no. All this already is creating so much of turmoil inside, and then we get the approval and acceptance of people. Can we really be happy? That itself is a question mark. And that's why, in spite of having got everyone's approval and acceptance after saying yes and yes and yes to everybody, we're still not happy.
But people love the yes man, no?
People love the yes man, and the yes man feels that he'll be happy when people love him because he has done what they wanted him to do. But the truth is that they both are cheating each other. If I don't want to come to your place and I'm constantly creating these thoughts, what are the vibrations I'm sending you throughout the day? You are the cause because of which I'm under so much stress today. You, just to please you, I'm having to do this the whole day today. I don't feel like coming, I'm still having to come. What are the vibrations that I'm sending to you? Then I do it.
The
then
vibrations I'm sending you is that you're forcing me.
Yes.
You're taking advantage of your position.
Yes.
You're taking advantage of being my elder brother or
parent.
Yes. And having more power on
So
me.
how much of love and respect is this?
Have you read that, sister, in the newspaper the other day? That one of the army guys in some border, which was extremely painful to stay there, he was away from his family for months and months and months or years, I don't know. And each time his boss would not give him a leave. He said, no, 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 no. And he went on and he had to obey. Finally, he killed him.
It's tremendous amount. See, that depends. Now, in this case, because the situation, the magnitude of the situation is very big. But when we look at this situation, what you've just shared with us, we just need to understand.
But he's been saying, okay, sir. Right, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. He was tired of saying, okay, sir, yes, sir. He just took a gun and shot him.
Yes. Because what must have happened at that minute when he just did it? Logic failed. Rational failed. He mustn't have planned and done that act. It's just that frustration will rise to such a high level, stress will rise such a high level that at that few moments, logic fails. It's not a planned attack. It's not a strategy. It's intellect just stops working for those few minutes because there's so much tremendous amount of frustration created. Now this we need to see this scene, and we have to see that every time we are not able to be assertive about what we want to say, there is a certain amount of stress that is getting created. In this case,
So
it's
this is a delicate line between being assertive and being egoistic,
so
or
we'll have to
not
check.
being rational or not being human.
Yeah, so we'll have to check how it works, because not being rational, not being human is a perspective which is going to be different for everybody. It is a perspective. What may be right for you may not be right for me. And if I'm doing something which is not right for me, it creates turmoil inside
All
me.
my life I had this problem, and wherever I used to work, I used to say that it's my wife's birthday. So they'll say, we work even in our festivals, whether the biggest, we have left my weddings, my brother's wedding, I didn't go. This is karma yoga. I mean, work is worship. All those dialogues
So
I've
then,
heard a lot.
which is okay, na?
From his point of view, they
They're
were right.
fine. And from your point of view also, you're fine. So there is no such thing as, we say very easily, oh, there are certain norms. They have to be followed. If anyone who doesn't follow them is not being right or human. Who set those norms?
So here, how do I put my foot down and say, no, I have a duty at home and this is my profession?
Most important, I have to understand, why am I constantly seeking the approval and acceptance of other people? Because unless I work on that, I'll not be able to say no. So I don't even try.
As far as I think, it is somewhere a fear and weakness.
Yeah. So that means approval and acceptance and appreciation. These are the 3 A's that we need. Every soul today needs these 3 A's. Approval, acceptance and appreciation. Anyone who constantly gets these 3 drugs, these 3 A's, they are in their intoxication. But then they're so dependent on those 3 drugs that the day they don't get it, because if they don't get that, then they get the opposite of that, which is rejection.
Today the audience did not clap as much, no. There were little lesser claps, no.
Yes, so that little lesser appreciation, they didn't say you acted well, they didn't appreciate what you did. So that little lesser appreciation, or what if somebody comes and says something contradictory to what you performed? That is rejection. So anyone whose happiness starts becoming dependent on these drugs, they are in a risky state.
Today, nobody liked my way of cooking.
Yeah.
Nobody said good word. No, if I would say to them, no, I was so busy eating because it was so tasty that
Yeah, I forgot to appreciate.
It didn't even have time to say it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking you didn't like it.
Yeah.
See, every moment, every step.
Because when they are cooking for you the whole day, see, just we have to put ourselves in the other person's perspective. When the other person is doing something for you the whole day, they already create an image in their mind of what will happen in the evening. The mind and intellect is doing something else while the hands are cooking, and the mind and the intellect says they will come home and they will eat and they will love the food, and then they will say, fantastic, thank you so much for cooking such a lovely meal for me. And we can actually already see ourselves feeling happy at that time, and we are able to feel happy then and there, conceiving that scene, and which gives a message to the mind that I will be happy when this will happen. And this is applicable everywhere, to a wife cooking at home, to a child performing and getting approval from parents, to a member in the team getting approval from his seniors, daughter-in-law getting approval from in-laws, friends getting approval from friends. Every time when we are doing something, we already conceive this image in our mind. When they approve of us, I will feel so happy. So the mind programs, like in this case, cooking the whole day. And its programming is, when they appreciate, then I will be happy. Now if the first line doesn't happen, they forget to appreciate. And forget they don't appreciate, what if they criticize? Somebody can say, what have you cooked? I didn't feel like eating such heavy food today. I'll grow fat if you cook this kind of food for me. And your whole image that you have created the whole day just bursts, and the person can start crying like this. And you're going to say, you're crying just because I said this much? Yeah, but because I created that image the whole day. And you've just come and pricked that image. And because I did not get your approval, I did not get my daily dose of drugs.
Yeah, the stimulant.
And why did we want approval? Because we thought when we get approval and acceptance from people,
I'll be happy.
it also means they love me. See, as a child, what did we get? As a child, when the child did something which the parents approved of, you woke up on your own, you packed your bag, you finished your homework, you will see the approval on the face of the parent, and the parent will pat his back and just hug him, and you can see the whole vibration is because you did what they wanted.
And he's so proud.
He's so happy. And he just saw the whole scene enacted there, conveys to him that when you do what they want, they approve and accept you. And when they approve and accept you, they love you. Equation created. And he sees another scene when he does something which they don't approve of, he will see the whole face change, and he can even be beaten or rejected, or they will sulk and they will not talk to him for some time, and which means they have withdrawn their love for those few moments, because now no appreciation, rejection.
He'll start crying, Mama doesn't love me anymore.
Yes, exactly. Now this is how a child is growing up. Then this will shift to friends. If a student in school today, if you see the kind of peer pressure that is there, if a child does what the friends approve of, let's say all the friends say we're bunking school and going for a movie today, and if one person has to say no, I'm not going to bunk school, I will stay in school,
Boycott.
everybody will change. Which means if I don't do what they want, they withdraw their love, they don't approve, so I start doing it. Then I go to work. If I do what the boss says, I get approval, I'm a nice person, they love me. So this programming that happened at this age goes with me in every relationship and every accent. And which means 3 lines were fixed. When I do what people want, they approve, accept and appreciate me, and most important, they love me. And which means if I don't do what they want.
They love me, sister, or am I seeking to be loved?
But I see that as love. Now, if somebody comes and pats me, hugs me, has a nice smile on his face while talking to me.
Why do I need so much of love?
Because every soul needs love. The
Jhota
key
hi
ingredients.
Jhota hi
sahi. How sweet, yeah. Even if it's false, I need love. These are my cravings.
पल भर के लिए कोई प्यार कर दे. I mean,
Jhota hi sahi. So why do we need it? Love, we all need. Peace, we all need. Happiness, we all need. The only little illusion, we were seeking it outside. We thought it flows from them
out
to me. And in the process, I was doing a lot of things which I didn't want to do and was creating the opposite of love. I was getting angry. I was getting stressed. I was sometimes even hating people for whom I was doing. People in the team can hate their bosses for what they have to do just to get their approval. A daughter-in-law can hate her in-laws for what she has to do just to get their approval. Suppose a girl wants to work after she's got married, and they say, no, if you work, we don't approve of you. So to get their approval.
I've done my MBA, I've done this, I've been abroad, I studied so much, what for?
Yeah. So
then
to get
all her life she sulks.
Now that's it. But she's getting their approval. Their approval.
But here, she's neither happy nor unhappy.
But that applies to all. That applies to every. She's not neither happy, neither unhappy. She's unhappy inside because she didn't get it.
She's not happy by the approval.
Yes. But she thought she will be happy by the approval.
So she's not even happy if, see, by not working, after doing an MBA, whatever professional course, she is not happy that her parents are, or in-laws are happy about it.
Yeah.
And she's unhappy that she
didn't get to pursue what she wanted.
double unhappiness.
That's what we said, always double stress. One, having to do more than our capacity something, and second, not getting to do what we feel like doing. So 2 issues will always create stress. Suppose you tell me, get up from here and walk till there. And if you walk till there, I will be happy. But my legs are just not moving today. But yet, to get your approval, I will get up from here and walk till there. So that's stress. that I can't do it, but I'm doing. So stress of that. And second, I'm doing something that I don't feel like doing. So I feel like a victim who's being controlled by you. So always in every situation, the stress will created because of two reasons. Going
Sister,
more than capacity and not getting to do things of my choice, only to receive love from other people. It is so deep, and at every relationship it is happening today.
only to receive love.
Yeah. But at the end of it,
I find it not, practical to be assertive and be sweet and be nice and have your own values and say, I can't do this, sorry, or no.
it's a choice that we live by. Once I understand that these are drugs which I have started taking for my intoxication, then now I have to decide, do I live my life as an addict, or do I want to give up the drug? Because the drug, however intoxicating it might be, it's a drug and it's damaging me inside. So I need to take a pause and ask myself, do I want to live this life of an addict, a dependent on other people's approval to feel good? Or do I want to give up my addiction, even if it means that initially I will have some withdrawal symptoms? I will, because initially it will create a little discomfort because I might get rejection instead of the approval that I was getting initially.
But each time saying yes and each time being a yes man, not necessarily you'll be getting approval and love.
That's
Because,
another question mark.
yeah,
Yeah.
because what I did for you, you're not satisfied with that. Then, because I still am
Sure.
confused about that
How to do
lady, is
it?
that she's still in my mind, the MBA.
Sure.
Because there's certain women who really want to work. They cannot live without it.
Yeah. So we
They
need,
cannot sit at home.
right. So we need to say how we can be assertive, do what we feel is right, and yet continue to get the respect of people around us.
I don't know why, but when you said assertive, even that word was not very positive for me.
So we need to see how to work on it and
No
then
and
experiment
assertive.
with it.
You see, I like the word love, happiness, peace, obedient, but assertive, no, and to a certain extent, strict, strict or discipline. These are the words that are not
These are the words which
not
are
very
not,
beautiful, which
yeah,
they don't give love to your happiness to your ears.
because we have got used to happiness and love only coming as stimulants, as words and gestures from people, however artificial and pretending they might be.
Jhuta hi sahi.
Yeah. And we have really, it's been long. We've moved away from that real love and happiness, which is solid and permanent, which will not fluctuate with every word and gesture of somebody outside. This is so much dependency. If you look at me like this, you approve of me. If you just turn like this, you don't approve of me. If you speak like this, you approve of me. If today you don't feel like speaking and you forget to say good morning, I get hurt because you don't approve of me.
I've won this new dress for you,
And
and
you
you're
didn't
busy
appreciate
speaking on the phone to somebody.
We just need to remember it's a drug. It's a drug, however interesting it might feel, it's a dependency. If not controlled and then
Now
finished, the dosage will only go on increasing.
increasing.
And that's why we find that we're becoming more and more vulnerable. Why today most of us are experiencing so much stress, anxiety? Look at the word rejection. Where was this word earlier? It just seems to have just come up from somewhere in the last few years. And today it's become a part of vocabulary. You will have so many people say, oh, I feel very rejected. I sometimes feel, do we understand what we are saying? Because it's like I'm depressed. So the other word, I feel so rejected. They rejected me. When and where did this word come from? Because the drug dosage is going on increasing. Vulnerability. So the slightest gesture, oh, they rejected me. Slightest disapproval, they rejected me. We won't even say, oh, they didn't approve of this act of mine. We just say, they rejected me. So it just goes on. So we need to see how to work on it.
Still, I have so many questions about it because it's a little difficult for me to
It is,
understand it
it is,
very
it is.
clearly.
It's a little not difficult, yes, but it's just that because we are going out of our comfort zone, it seems little difficult. Comfort zone was say yes, get the approval of others, and live under the illusion that that is love. That's the comfort zone we've been living in for many, 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 many years. So whenever we try to break any comfort zone, it's not going to happen like this. And initially, the mind will even resist it. Like you are finding it tough, many of our brothers and sisters right now would feel impossible. This won't work because it requires courage to be able to come out of a comfort zone. And there's so many fears that if we come out of this comfort zone, this is all that will happen. So it's better live inside it, even if it's suffocating.
Thank you, sister. Thank you very much. What about meditation? This.
Let me take a moment and look at my circle of relationships. And let me see myself with each one. Spouse, parents, colleagues, seniors, friends, society. As a detached observer, let me see myself with each of these. And let me look. Every time I'm dependent on their approval to feel good, how does that make me feel inside? Every time I'm doing something which I don't feel like, but I'm not able to say no, how does it feel like? Let me just open my mind to the possibility. Is it possible to say what I feel, even if it does not get approval from others? Is it possible to be loveful and be loved by others? Let me only explore. Om Shanti.